What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 44 of The Climb. Today, it's the start of season number 7 here at the club. We start on the profile screen, and well, something may look a little bit different. Of course, we've moved into another new stadium, the second stadium of this series. Of course, we would build a stadium the first time around that couldn't be expanded to League levels, but I introduce you to L'Arène au Sommet. I definitely not said that correctly, but I've tried, French viewers. It means the arena at the summit, because we're there. We've done the climbing. We're at the peak. Now we just have to kick PSG off the very, very top. That's the aim before FM21. It's going to be pretty hard, as we established last season, but in order to aid us on our quests, we have been very, very busy in the summer. In fact, we've spent a massive sum of cash. Should we go to the transfer screen first? It's a lot of money that has been splurged, everyone. Just gone absolutely everywhere. I guess we made some money as well. £24 million made in sales, and free sales mainly making up that amount. The first is Edgar Sandy, a player who once upon a time was a very good little centre-back for us. Unfortunately, he's just not of the quality of some of our other players, and I couldn't really justify keeping him around because he was using up a non-EU player spot, of which we only get 3 all year. So we let Sandy go, which I'm a little bit sad about, but £1 million, a good little bit of profit. You know, we are able to reinvest that. And the other 2 players that massively helped were Paul Suarez, who has gone to Ghent. Really, the reason for selling Suarez is, much like Sandy, he's a non-EU player spot. We had a bid that was a massive amount compared to the free transfer that we got him on for previously. And, with Noah Kene coming into the team, I just don't see him playing regular first-team football as our boarding midfielder or partner in crime for the deep-line playmaker. So ultimately, I let Paul go. And the final player we get go, maybe a bit of a shock this one, Mercier, I have let go. Yes, a 19-year-old. I don't like to sell our best players, but let's be frank, we got a £12.5 million bid. Can't really say no to that. There is a sell-on clause involved, so we can profit off it future. Again, for a player who we signed a year and a half ago for £3,800, to sell him on for £12.5 million, I feel like that kind of speaks for itself. Who knows, maybe he will develop into a little superstar, but, you know, between those 3 players, we made way in excess of £20 million. And, they weren't the only players that departed. Nuno Cruz returned to Portugal. Luis Serre has taken a step sideways to Belgium. And, a few other players left, such as Luis Carlos Sainz. Just one loan that is certainly worth being well aware of is Marlon Adriano, who I have loaned for the first half of this season back to Brazil. Really just because I want him to get regular first-team football, and he's not going to get that with us. So, that's the dealings that we've done. What have we done on the ins? Well, we've spent £43 million, yes. Of course, Xavi Simons, a player we already knew was joining us way back in January. Terrific talent, expect to see him play a lot, except for today, because he is suspended. So he isn't going to get an opportunity to take on his former club, PSG. We're going to hope in his absence that we're able to prove a point. But nevertheless, very, very excited for Simons coming into the team this year. I think he's a really good addition. Another player we've got is Koyate, a player who has been on my radar for a long time. He was a regular at Auxerre, who, of course, we were playing against in Ligue 2 a couple of years ago. This man has been their key player forever, and at 20 years old, he's still got a lot in the tank in terms of improvement. I wanted to retain a French core to the team and to sign a really good French youngster who has bags of first-team experience. I feel like £7 million was a quite modest fee, to be honest, so pretty happy about that. Those were the 2 big dealings, but as you can see here, we still managed to spend £29 million on other players. There's quite a few to go through, so let's cover the big ones, so to say. So Oumar Saleh has joined us, 25 years old, an incredible ball-playing centre-back. Was relegated last year with Strasbourg. He had a release clause. He comes in, if we just quickly compare him to Mercier, who we sold for £12 million, I think why we've brought Saleh in kind of starts to make a lot of sense. He's incredible with his ball-playing ability as much as anything else. For £5.25 million, just really good quality. He's young-ish. He's French, exceptional in the air. I think he's going to be a good little centre-back for us this year. And, well, this year I want to transition to playing a more technical style of play. I want to see us knock the ball around well. And certainly some of these signings fall in line with that. Adley here, we have signed again from Strasbourg. A couple of players joining us from the relegated side. At 25 years old, I just see him as a really good versatile midfield option. More likely to start on the bench than anything else, but he can cover a hell of a lot of bases for us at 25 years old as well. A little bit of room to improve, perhaps. I did want to make a conscious effort this year to, ensure that we retained a French identity to our team. And Yassine is one such example of just that. A player for the future that is worth keeping an eye on is Olivier Lionel, who is interesting, has only just turned 16 and is phenomenal from a technical and speed standpoint. Improving a fair bit already, has loads of room to improve. What is the issue, you might ask? Temperamental personality, likes to wind up opponents. This is a child who I think is still going through, his teen years. He's in his troublesome teens. He's not really matured. We're going to try and get him in check. I'm hoping that the temperamental personality isn't going to cause problems, although I expect to see it impact his development. Nevertheless, for £4.5 million, we've got a top quality French under-19 international who has only just turned 16, one to keep an eye on for the future. Will be training with the first team this year. Augustin Serra joins us as a bit of squad depth, although he is an exceptional player at left back and right back. Either-footed, professional personality, Argentinian. You might think non-EU spot. Is that the only downside? Absolutely not. He's part Italian. He is perfect. The right kind of player for this level. 4.4 million. Just a perfect backup. You can play left and right back. You don't get many of these in Football Manager. The fact he's either-footed is a bonus. A really good squad player. We did have issues at the full-back position. I think he could be the solution to them. Mbiso joins us from Metz, another former PSG man. Really good centre-back, ball-playing player. More of a squad depth signing with the departure of Mercier, but a Cameroon international. And to be fair, if we had to call upon him, I would expect him to do a really, really good job for us. If you've been watching the Monopoly streams, you'll be familiar with the next signing. It's Gustavo Assunção. I'm not saying that correctly. We'll just call you Gustavo. It's a cooler name. It sounds sexy. And while this guy plays sexy football, 15 passing, 16 vision, really good kind of deeper lying playmaking option. Also very good defensively. I like him a lot. We managed to pick him up for a measly sum of 3.3 million. I think it's value in the market. I think it's value in the market, and that's what I'm kind of drawing it down to. The next player we have is Baumann, who is a 17-year-old Belgium youngster, going straight into the reserves. Keep an eye on him, though. He could be one who I'm, monitoring closely. Maybe one day we'll be ready for the first team. Of course, a few goalkeepers joining us as well. Players we'd already agreed to sign as of last episode, so I covered them already. We've got Wally Jonk, who I imagine is going to be our second-choice goalkeeper. We've got Lessier, who is going to be first-choice keeper to start the year. I think him and Jonk will be dicing it out for the number one spot. And, of course, we've got Lavallee also joining us, another young Frenchman. Third-choice goalkeeper, a bit of potential, was listed as being very, very consistent before we scouted him. It's weird. We've got three very good goalkeepers who are all kind of going to be battling out for the number one spot. I don't feel like anyone is kind of a super standout player. So those are the players we spent money on. As I said, quite a lot to them, but a few more freebies joined us. The most notable, perhaps the transfer of the window, Royman Lopez. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. He is naturally a striker, but we're not going to be playing him at striker. I see this man as the missing piece in the final third puzzle. 22 years old, plays centre attack in mid, 18 passing, 16 teamwork. Phenomenal. And he managed to get on a free transfer after he was released by Las Palmas. You can see he got 21 goals and 5 assists. In 38 games last year in Spain's second tier, there were some very, very big teams interested in him, but we beat them to his signing, and without breaking the wage budget either. Only £30,000 a week for this guy on a 5-year contract. Fantastic business, Jack. Give yourself a pat on the back for that, my friend. Anyway, two more players, two Brexit boys, two English lads, whatever way you want to describe them. The first is Noan Kene, who we've already talked about, but I really like this guy. I think he will be our starting, more defensively minded midfielder this year. And the other players joined us, one of our starting centre-backs, I imagine, Barry Marsden. Yes, fairly professional personality, listed as a wonder kid. Joined us on a free transfer from Tottenham, where he played 3 games in the Premier League last year. Got very high hopes for him. He's exceptional in the air. He's built like a beanstalk. I'm hoping he's going to channel his inner Hugo Robert. That is the dream for you, Barry. And, that is all the business that we've done. Quite a lot to go through, I appreciate. You might think, Jack, what does this mean for the first team? This is what it means for the first team. This is how we are going to be starting this year. And really, it's just a new spine to the team. You may have noticed we've not signed a striker yet. I have got a few players I'm looking at. We have still got a little bit of money in the transfer budget. And by a little bit, I mean £18 million, but I didn't want to spend it all for the sakes of it. This year I really want to build towards a European placement, and to be honest, I feel like I spent enough to get that done. I feel like this is a team that can do it for us. So in terms of the team, Galvez holds down his spot at right back, Hayden at left back. Martinez is going to come in over Blaze out on the left hand side this year. Of course, Blaze back on loan again this year. I have extended his loan for a second year, so we've got him for 2 more years once more. But you can see him and Martinez compared to one another. I think, for me, Martinez is just a more technical player, and I think we need that in our system. Out on the right, we've got Arietta. I think it's Arietta. I'm gonna say it's Arietta. No, you can argue with me if you want. I think it's Arietta. I've been told 6 different ways of saying it. I'm trying, everyone. And up front, we have still got Kofi. Of course, the rest of the team, well, Lopez comes in. We've already talked about him. Very, very exciting times. Kayate comes in today due to the injury, unfortunately, or not injury, the suspension to Xavi Simons alongside Noah Kene. So a chance for the young Frenchman to show what he can do at League 1 level. As I talked about already at centre-back, it's going to be Barry Marsden, and alongside him, it is going to be Saleh to start the year. Although that is somewhat up for debate. We can definitely rotate things around, but I think these two guys could be quite complementary to one another. That's the hope. Both playing as ball-winning midfielders, or ball-playing defenders, rather, not midfielders. But we have, of course, got Johnny Byrne, who is lurking away on the bench and will be keen to get first-team football this year. He didn't wow me last year. Obviously, he came in as a free... Well, I wanted to say a freebie. It wasn't a freebie, but for a small fee. We've got some slightly, I guess, higher earners now at centre-back. They're the players I want to give the nod to. And this is how we shape up for this year. So you might notice some shifts. Kene is an incredible Segundo Volante. I've never used a Segundo Volante before. I kind of just want to use one today. I have also got a plan B, which is this, that we may end up using at some point, because Saleh, he's a libero, everyone. You can tell me he's not a libero. He's as good a libero as you're ever going to see in Football Manager. Maybe I'll use that when I'm drunk one day. But for now, we're going to stick with this. I have been toying around with the idea of making it a little less symmetrical, going a bit asymmetric. I've not gone asymmetric this year in Football Manager in a while. If I was going to do it, this is the kind of thing I was thinking, and I'm almost talking myself into doing it now. So it is a 4-2-3-1 like you saw before, but we give Galvez more freedom to roam forward, and I just feel like it would work better. I kind of want to give it a go, everyone. Is this mad? Changing things on the fly last minute before we start the season. No, I think this is the play. As I said, lots of new players coming in, but I think we're ready. You can see on the bench, we've still got the likes of Olawale on the bench, who I'm still training to play centre-back. He will learn it one day. Campo is on the bench, as is Pelissard. So we've got some pretty good quality forwards. And of course, I didn't really acknowledge it last year. 9th last year was a really good finish. We are now looking to build off that. And I feel like we had really good ability in the fullback areas last year, really good ability in the final third. We just needed a new midfield and perhaps a new centre-back partnership. And we've got that. We've rebuilt the spine of the team this year. And I'm looking for us to kick on. Now, you know what? It is probably logical to change back to what I had before. But I don't like logic. So we are going to stick with this. There is part of me that almost wants to play Kofi as a deep line forward on attack. Now, you know what? Keep him on. Don't change too much too quickly, Jack. I still don't really know how I feel about the Segundo Volante. Not used it much before. Imagine it, for those of you who aren't familiar with the role, it's like a deeper box-to-box midfielder, but who likes to get forward late, if that makes sense. He'll come short for the ball, he'll come collect it, but he likes to, well, not be afraid of pushing forward. I've messed it all up and gone asymmetric, and I'm now double kind of guessing myself. We're taking on PSG today, by the way. It's not an easy game, but you know what? I think we just go for it. This obviously isn't the game that's going to make or break our season. I probably would have rather had an easier start to the year, but this is the team that we are going to go with. Kofi and Martinez, Aritea, Galvez and Hayden. Surrounded by 6 new players going into the 11. I'm always conscious as a YouTuber doing a YouTube save not to change too much stuff too quickly. I feel like you guys build up relationships with the players, but at the same time, there comes a time where you have to say, we are going for Champions League football. We are going for Europa League football, and I want to push for Europe this year. I think the Champions League's a little out of reach. I am having the startling reminder that this is the PSG team that we have. Shall we have a look through their players for comparison? They've got Onana in goal, probably one of the best goalkeepers in Football Manager. They've got Mariba. How much did they pay for him? 107 million, playing alongside Paul Pogba. That's not a bad centre-back or centre-mid partnership. They've got Kai Havertz ahead. They've got Mbappe, and we know what they look like in Football Manager. And then they've just got Fabio Silva, who's developed in the final. I mean, this is... As far as super teams go, this is a pretty super team in Football Manager. And it's a young team as well. There are not that many older players besides Pogba in that team, maybe Kimpembe as well. It's not, or rather Marquinhos. It's not a team that I particularly want to be taking on today to start the year. What we need to remind ourselves is this isn't the game that is going to make or break our season, everyone. This weird asymmetric 4-2-3-1, which I will probably change after we get spanked, may not last the test of time, but we're getting to know each other. We're in that team gelling phase. We've not had many matches together, and this is kind of throwing us in at the deep end. So if we could get a draw here in our first ever game at our new stadium, that would be incredible. Of course, this is the first game at the new stadium. Is there a gazebo, is what I'm wondering as the ball is squared. Soleil gets it out. It doesn't look like there's a gazebo, which is all just a great big shame, really. Anyway, whoever bring the ball forward gives it to Mbappe, who's through on goal, and we've lasted 3 minutes there. I mean, we've lasted longer than I normally do, to be fair, but 1-0 is not ideal against PSG. I mean, last year we lost to them 4-2 in a live com, and then we beat them at the end of the year when they stopped caring. Why could we not be playing them at the end of the year when they've already, won everything? It's just not fair. It's 1-0 PSG. We're bottom of the league, everyone. Pack up our bags and let's go home. Interesting short free kick taken from Neymar, who now brings the ball forward with his yellow boots back to Mariba. Now Kimpembe over on this left-hand side. Can we defend? No, is the answer as the ball is stopped, blocked. Just keep throwing your bodies at it. That'll do. That will do, pig. That'll do. What a babe. What a babe. We've got rid of it. We've got rid of it and we're surviving, everyone. Soleil, big ball forward to Arrieta. I believe it's Arrieta. Arrieta? I might just give him a nickname. If you've got any nickname ideas, let me know. Anyway, PSG having all the shots early on, which I want to pretend to be surprised about, but it's difficult to pretend to be surprised about that. Like, frankly, they're quite good. I mean, we're not bottom anymore because Metz are now losing 2-0, so there's silver linings to all of this. And it's still 1-0. We've held on for 20 more minutes. We're doing okay now. We've steadied the ship. For like when you concede in the first 3 minutes against PSG, the main aim becomes let's not concede again. Anyway, big throw forward. Kofi underneath it. Cleared away to Kene. Oh, I thought he was going to score on his debut. The former Leeds United and Swansea City man. But he blazes it over the crossbar. Apparently Fabio Silva is a danger. I mean, I know that because he scored a hat-trick against me in a World Cup final in my Monopoly save game. Arrieta, what can you do? What can you do? I'll tell you what. We're having chances also. Why are my match stats not on the screen? I've just noted that's bothering me. Get the match stats out. There we go. If you wanted a guide on how to get the match stats on, you just click this little box up here. Anyway, Fabio Silva bringing it forward. Can we defend? Soleil, what a tackle, my friend. He's not the craziest defender from a defensive standpoint. He's a libero through and through, though, and he's got the technical ability on the ball. I mean, could we build something here? Lopez, the Spaniard. Wide to Hayden on the overlap. Back to Lopez. Hayden. Nice knocking around with the ball here. Hayden inside. Arrieta. I've said his name. It's Arrieta, Jack. Where have I getting Arrieta from? Help me. Right, Lopez. Do it again. Lopez is, I was going to say he's looking magical. Then he's assisting Fabio Silva. I have got high hopes for Lopez this year. He's the highest earner at the club, joining us on the free from Las Palmas. The calibre of team that was interested in him was quite intense as well. Milan were looking at him. I think Villarreal were looking at him. The fact that we've managed to pick him up on a free, even if I've slightly overpaid on the wages front, I think is huge for us. Anyway, they're bringing the ball forward here. It's Renard Lodi hitting the woodwork. Hayden gets it just about clear. I'm going to be honest, I don't like what they're doing to us on the right-hand side. You just saw there how kind of open and free Renard Lodi was at left back. So let's change things up. I mean, they've had 2 clear-cut chances and 2 half chances to our 1 half chance. But the goal deficit is 1, ladies and gentlemen. And we are good at set pieces. And we've got a throw in here, I want to believe. Galvez, what can you do? Throws it forward. Kofi down to Arrieta, who hits it against the post. Was it over the line, referee? VAR? It wasn't over the line. The game has told me so. It's 1-0 at the break. I mean, you know what? We've had chances in that. We've had chances in it. I can't really be that mad. I mean, at home against PSG, in our new stadium, I want to build some fond memories here. I don't know if they're going to be built today. I'm going to make some changes, I think, in this game. Lopez has been pretty disappointing, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to bring in Julian Blaze in the wide area. And you know what? The asymmetric adventure is over. I'm changing things. I am changing. The adventure is over, everyone. We're going to go back to something quite a bit closer to what we played last year, I think, which was this. I will tell Arietta just to mark tightly their left back. I think that is the thing to do. And you know what? This is kind of what we had before, but instead of having the ball in the midfielder, it's a segundo volante. I've never had a segundo volante before, but Kene apparently ticks all the boxes for it, and in theory, I think it'll work quite nicely in our system. We'll see whether or not that's the case. Of course, in previous years, we've alternated between the ball-winning midfielder and box-to-box midfielder with Fomba. The segundo volante on attack starts deeper, but I feel like it could be the best of both worlds. Arietta to Kouyate, now with Lopez. Ball forward, Arietta hits it just wide off the post. We're having chances. We've got a set piece that we do now need to deal with. We are going toe-to-toe here with PSG. Yes, they've hit the woodwork a few times. Let's pretend that's not happened. But I feel like we are not disrespecting ourselves right here. You know what? Campo, come on down. I've got one last sub in my back pocket. I am going to take off Lopez and bring in Adley. Of course, Adley joining us from Strasbourg. High hopes for him. I think he's a really good attacking midfielder option. He's got some nice player-preferred moves as well. And well, we've got a highlight here. Hayden. Big ball forward. It's headed away, but only as far as Blaze. Julian, what can you do? He whips it back post. Campo's there! Is it about to be ruled out for something, though? What is it for? What are we giving? Adley push Marquinhos. Why did you push Marquinhos? The ball wasn't even going towards you. A goal ruled out, but 5 minutes left. We've got momentum, dare I say it. I feel like we're on the attack. We're looking the more likely to score. Come on, boys. I believe in you. One last shout at them. I can't shout at them. I've already shouted at them enough. My voice is gone. That's how I explain my inability to click the option. Julian Blaze cuts inside, hits it straight at Onana. I might seem a little surprised at 1-0. I'm quite happy with how this has gone after we conceded so early on. A brave performance. We've tried to play positive football. Yes, we've not had as much of the ball as we would like, but to have 16 shots against PSG, I think that shows that we've got something about us going forward, maybe, as they have a chance. And oh my word, Lessieur, what a save that is. And if you were wondering, by the way, where Thomas is, our goalkeeper, on loan from Montpellier for the past few years, he's just in the reserves. I can't cancel his loan, and I don't really want to rely on him on loan, especially when we've got 3 permanent goalkeepers now who are all pretty good. I mean, I'll tell you what, Lessieur's got a 7.0 rating there, and if you just want me to compare him to Thomas, because someone is going to ask for it, there is the direct comparison. I think it's quite fair to see why Valentino gets the nod. If you want to argue with me, please, I mean, try to, but I don't think you've got an argument. Either way, that's not that bad of a game, dare I say, against PSG. I feel like we held our own. We had a goal disallowed. We had chances. And, well, we're doing okay. We've also got a few transfers that I'm looking to get done. One is Kevin Moos, who, he's 16. I'm looking at players for the future. We've reached that point in the transfer window where I've signed so many new players for the first team and there's still money left over. I've been hunting through the under-23s and under-21s players to sign. But Kevin Moos here, I mean, there is lots of potential with cow puns, firstly. But also, he looks pretty good at 16. Professional personality, has only just turned 16. Under-21 international. And as you saw from this kind of screen here, £2 million. Let's negotiate. Let's negotiate until the cows come home, or until the moos can be heard louder. Now I'm going to offer him a bit more money than he's asking for, but I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. I'm going to ask for an optional contract extension of 3 years. So it essentially makes it a 6-year deal where once he's got 2 years left on his contract, we can trigger a bit more of a deal. You know what? His agent's been quite fair here with the negotiating. There you go, Kevin. Enjoy your contract, my friend. Hopefully by the time the scout report comes in, we're told that he's the best player ever. If I'm told that he's inconsistent, injury prone, or hates important matches, then we start to panic a little bit. But you know what? We might as well get the wheel moving on some transfers now because, we've got money to spend. It would not surprise me if come next episode, I've signed a whole load of new players, although I am conscious about adding too many players to the first team too soon. Also, off the back of that last game, I'm returning back to normalcy. We're going back to what we played last year in terms of most of the roles, which is this. We've not actually changed a great deal, although this year, I do want to see us knock the ball around a little bit more. I have asked us to try and play out from the back, because as I said, with Soleil, 14 passing, 15 vision, with Marsden, who doesn't have quite as good a quite as good a vision, but still has 14 passing. We do have technical ability out from the back, and I feel like against even slightly lesser opposition, we're a team who really should be able to bully teams and knock the ball around nicely. Whether or not that happens, I suppose we will find out in the coming weeks. We've not got the kindest start to the year. We've got Lyon coming up, who finished second last year, as well as Monaco. In terms of when we'll come back, it may well be for the Marseille game. I like Marseille. They're a bit of an interesting team. I feel like they're a team who will have similar aspirations to us. Of course, our board expectation this year is a mid-table finish. Marseille are predicted to finish 4th. We, but meanwhile, are predicted to finish 11th. And if we want to build upon last year's 9th place finish, kind of results against teams like Marseille could be the kind of thing that makes or breaks any kind of European football dream. And away from home should be a pretty good test for us after we've had a few games under our belt, I suppose, to get some gelling going and hopefully have the players on the same wavelength as one another. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have, a like is super appreciated. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. It is me, Jack, and yeah, I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.